Good morning, Crystal House Academy Golden Eagles, and welcome to week number 2 of homeschool. So today we're going to be moving on to chapter 4.1 in Amplify. We've been looking at the rough skin newt for the past 3 weeks, and then now we're going to be moving on to the stickleback. So your warm-up is in Amplify. You're going to be rereading that article that you read last week and answering a couple more questions about it. So we're going to be using the information and the knowledge that we've learned about the newts and how those changed over time to then apply to our new population, the sticklebacks. So you guys read about this earlier, but just as a brief introduction, so these are small fish and they have 3 spines or stickles on their backs. The ones we're going to be focusing on are from Alaska. So these can be found in saltwater or freshwater, but the ones we're going to be focused on are up here in Alaska in a freshwater lake. So when these guys first came to this lake in Alaska, here's the histogram of what they looked like. So there were very few with low armor, and most of them were in this area with the high ranges of armor. So mostly from like 8 to 10. But you can see over time, so that was 13 generations ago, now it's totally shifted. So now most of them are in this low end, and there's very few that are left in that high end now. So what scientists have been able to do is look at the inside of these dudes and look at how much armor they have. So they've stained it red, so you can see, I'll move myself out of the way, but as time has progressed, they have less and less armor. So these guys up here have 30 plates, and then it ranges down to 25, and then 4 down here. So when you're looking at these histograms over here, this is what it correlates with. Another thing to look at, we have a histogram for how fast they are. So 13 generations ago, we started out with most of them being at a speed level of 1, and as time progressed, there's more in this 3 and 4 range. So they've totally changed their speed as well as how many plates they have. So the question we're going to be looking at is, why is this population changing? So why did they go from high armor and being slow to being quick with few armor plates? So the first claim is that the sticklebacks have less armor so they can escape their predators. So that makes sense. You know, if you have less of that armor, maybe you're going to be faster. Maybe you can get away from the things that are trying to eat you. And then claim 2 is the sticklebacks have less armor so that they can catch their prey. So this might also be the case because if they're faster, maybe they can catch more food, they can live longer and be able to reproduce. So what we're going to be doing is investigating and looking at evidence of why this change might have happened. So you have a bunch of different evidence cards, but we're going to look at this one together as a class. So from this chart, I can see that the low armor ones are fast and live for about 4 years, whereas the ones with high armor are slow and only live about 1 year. So this is telling me that the low armor ones are living longer. So that's an important thing to think about when we're looking at populations changing. So we know that these can live longer. Also down here, it tells me reproduction. Most sticklebacks reproduce about once a year. So that's telling me that the low armor ones that live 4 years, they're going to be able to reproduce about 4 times in their lifespan, where the high armor ones can only reproduce once. So that's also going to have a big impact on the population. So you're going to be looking at the different cards, and those are in Amplify, to help you figure out what has changed in this population. So for you guys, this is on part number 3 in your Amplify. So it's under examining evidence about sticklebacks. So I've only got about 20 more seconds, so it looks like I'm going to have to upload another video to talk about this, but I'll see you over on that next one.